All right, so Unit 2, Day 2, we're going to be solving proportions today. Now, a proportion is essentially when you have two fractions equal to each other. Now, to solve a proportion, we're going to cross multiply. Once we cross multiply and have our equation all set up, then we're going to solve using the algebra rules that we talked about in the previous lesson. So I'm looking at number 1 here. We have 55 over 200 equals 143 over n. We're going to multiply the 200 and the 143. And then I'm going to write the equal sign. And then I'm going to multiply the 55 and the n. So 55 times n is just 55n. So 200 times 143, that is 28,600 equals 55n. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 55. So n equals 520. All right, so number 2, I have 22 over 11 equals 7 over x. We're going to cross multiply. So I have 11 times 7, that's 77, equals 22 times x, that's 22x. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 22. So I have x equals 77 over 22. Now, we have a fraction here. Let's see if we can simplify this using my calculator. So I'm going to input 77 divided by 22, hit enter, math, enter, enter. So I have x equals 7 over 2, or you can say 3.5. Number 3, 12 over 27 equals 3r divided by 3. I cross multiply. 27 times 3r equals 12 times 3. 27 times 3r is 81r equals 36. Divide both sides by 81. So r equals 36 over 81. And then we have a fraction here, so I'm going to use my calculator. All right, so then I'm going to math, enter this. So I get 4 over 9. Or you can say 0.4 with a bar above because the 4s were repeating. Number 4, I have 9 plus m divided by 5 equals 15 divided by 4. I'm going to cross multiply. So I have 5 times 15 equals 4 times the quantity of 9 plus m. So when you have a number multiplied by a binomial here, we need to make sure that we have parentheses around the binomial. Okay, so 5 times 15 is 75. And then here, I take this 4 and distribute to each term. So I have 4 times 9, that's 36, plus 4 times m, that's 4m. Now I'm going to subtract both sides by 36. 75 minus 36 is 39. Equals 4m. Then I divide both sides by 4. So I have m equals 39 over 4. So I'm going to use my calculator and see if I can simplify this. Looking at the fraction, we have an odd divided by an even. So most likely this is already simplified, I assume. All right, so I have to math, enter this. Yep, I was right. It's 39 over 4. So you can leave your answer like this, or you can just say 9.75. Number 5, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cross multiply. So we have 9 times the quantity of h minus 3 equals 4 times the quantity of h plus 4. I'm going to distribute the 9 to each term, and then I'm going to distribute the 4 to each term. So I have 9n minus 27 equals 4n plus 16. I'm going to go ahead and subtract both sides by 4n. So 9n minus 4n, that's 5n minus 27. 4n minus 4n, that's going to be 0. So I have 16 on the right-hand side. So now I'm going to add both sides by 27. I have 5n equals 16 plus 27 is 43. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 5. So I have n equals 43 over 5. I'm going to go ahead and use my calculator. So I have 43 divided by 5. Math, enter, enter. Okay, so I have 43 over 5 still. So this is basically your answer. Or, if you want to give me the decimal version, you can just say 8.6. All right, moving on to number 6, we have n minus 2 over 4 equals 3n plus 3 all over 18. Cross multiply. So I have 18 times the quantity of n minus 2 equals 4 times the quantity of 3n plus 3. Take the 18 and distribute to each term. And then take the 4 and distribute to each term. So I have 18 times n, that's 18n. 18 times negative 2 is negative 36 equals 4 times 3n, 4, 8, 12, 12n. And then 4 times positive 3 is positive 12. Now, we're going to go ahead and subtract both sides by 12n. So I have 18n minus 12n, that's 6n minus 36 equals 12. Add both sides by 36 because I want to get that 6n on the left-hand side by itself. So I have 6n equals 12 plus 36, that's 48. And then I can go ahead and divide both sides by 6. So n equals 48 divided by 6, that's 8. Because 6 times 8 is 48, so n is equal to 8. Okay? Now, we're going to go ahead and move on to word problems. We're going to set up and solve each proportion. So number 7 says, a college brochure states that 11.5% of the students attending the college are majoring in engineering. If 2,400 students are attending the college, how many are majoring in engineering? So how we're going to set up this proportion is basically like this. We're going to have two fractions that are equal to each other. So the first fraction, we're going to have part over whole. And it has to be the same thing for the other fraction. So part over whole. So if I'm looking at this example here, we have 11.5% of the students attending the college that are majoring in engineering. So I'll write 11.5 out of, well, what's the whole here? 100. Because 11.5 over 100 is 11.5%, right? So then I'm going to set this equal to this other part. We have if 2,400 students are attending the college, how many are majoring in engineering? So we know that the whole is 2,400, but we don't know how many people out of the 2,400 are majoring in engineering. So we're going to leave that as x. So now I have my proportion, so I can go ahead and cross multiply. So I have 100x equals 27,600. Divide both sides by 100. So x equals 276. So we can say that 276 students are majoring in engineering. All right, so number 8, in an algebra class, 20% of the students made an A on the first test. If 7 people made an A, how many students are in the class? So we're going to apply the same rule like we did with number 7, that part over whole is equal to part over whole. But in this case, we want to look at the number of students that made A's on this test over the total population. So A's over total equals A's over total. So then let me go ahead and write my proportion. So we have 20% of the students made an A on this first test. So we can write that as 20 over 100 equals, now if 7 people made an A, how many students are in the class? So that 7 is actually going to go up top for this other fraction. So I'll write 7 here over X, because it's asking us how many students are in the class, aka the total, right? So here I have my proportion. I can cross multiply. I have 20x equals 700. Now let's divide both sides by 20. I have x equals 35. So there are 35 students in the class. So 35 students in the class. All right. Number 9, a rock climber wants to know the height of a cliff. The climber measures the shadow of her friend, who is 5 feet tall and standing beside the cliff, and measures the shadow of the cliff. If the friend's shadow is 4 feet long and the cliff's shadow is 60 feet long, how tall is the cliff? Now, the one thing that I'm going to do with this problem is draw a picture and then set up my equation. So I have the friend, and I have the cliff. So the friend is 5 feet tall, and her shadow is 4 feet long. Now, this person is standing beside the cliff. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my cliff. And it says that the cliff's shadow is 60 feet long. But the question here is, how tall is the cliff? So they're not giving us the height of the cliff. We're actually being asked to solve for it. So we're going to go ahead and call this. So we're going to go ahead and call this x. So when we're creating our proportion, we need to make sure that when we do write the two fractions, the top parts are going to be the same and the bottom parts are going to be the same. So in this case, I'm going to write height over shadow equals height over shadow. Okay, so in this case, we have 5 over 4. So I'm looking at this part here. We have the height of the friend, and her shadow is 4 feet long, right? So I have 5 over 4 equals the height of the cliff, that's our unknown, that's x, over 60. So now I can go ahead and cross multiply. So I have 4x equals 60 times 5, that's 300. Now if I divide both sides by 4, I get x equals 75. So the cliff is 75 feet tall. So the cliff is 75 feet